Hi, I wanted to give a little bit of an overview to the child study practicum because there seem to be some places that folks typically just need a little bit of clarification. So I thought it was probably easiest just to create this so that you didn't have to worry about schedules and you also didn't have to spend time worrying. The child study is really focused on learning how to see a child without evaluation, without conclusion, without judgment. Just see. And that sounds really easy until you try to do it, and then it's really hard. So as you start into that practicum, I would encourage you to first read the assigned readings before you do anything else. Just do the readings and respond to the readings because they'll really help you frame up what you're trying to do. Once you get into the observations themselves and you're making notes, if you hear yourself using words like he's angry, he's tired, he's happy, she's enthusiastic, she seems pleased, these are all conclusions. And what we want to get to are very objective sorts of descriptions of what you really see, not the conclusions that you make. And that's harder to tease out. When you do your first few journal entries, you may see that I make a lot of notes like as evidenced by, or you know this because. Don't be discouraged if you see a lot of those. It's part of the process of learning. Just try to be as attentive to it as you possibly can. The other question I get a lot about child study is, do I have to have access to one child for the whole term? And obviously the more time you have with the kid, the better. But it doesn't have to be necessarily a child that you're going to see every day. So if you're a specials teacher, you only see some children once a week, or you're in a situation where you don't see a child for a length of time, the most important thing is for you to be able to observe and make some observations and some notes, and then to make one small change that then allows you to observe what's different or what remains the same about the child after that one small change is made. Sometimes in the process of observing the child, you'll see a bunch of things that you think you need to adjust. Make one change and then see what happens. That's actually a cycle of inquiry, right? So you do some observation, you want to see how something changes when one of the factors changes. So you change the factor and then you observe again. That's the cycle of inquiry. You'll also notice that there are places in this practicum for you to do other reading. You may find that there is something that you discover about the kid that is something you're not that familiar with. One of the teachers mentions that the child is dyspraxic, or that the child is a recent immigrant, and you think, I don't know much about that experience. I don't really know much about that work, and so I want to do a little research. And in doing that research and reading, you discover a strategy or a specific thing that you can do that you think may be an interesting thing to try with the kid and then to reobserve. So that's, again, a cycle of inquiry. And any of those readings that you do, any of those materials that you get, those all go in the annotated bibliography, which is really, the annotated bib is like this great place to keep track of everything that you've read or sort of read, but that you want to remember. So if 3 years down the road, when you're done, you think, I read that great thing that one time about kids who have trauma backgrounds, and I wonder which one it was. Your annotated bibliography will have enough information for you to be able to find it. So hopefully those just few little guidelines will help you get your head around the child study practicum. If you have questions, of course, always reach out sooner rather than later. The practica can feel overwhelming, but if you take them like one piece at a time, read the articles, and then select one child to observe. Don't try to do more than one. It's one child to observe. Make your observations. Set some goals, one or two, maybe, around things that you want to learn more about or things that you want to try as a result of your observations. and record your goals. And then implement one, record observations, implement potentially another, record observations. There may be additional research that you do in between there about things that you learn about the kid. And then about that time, you're ready to start doing your descriptive review, and which is the report, and your practicum summary, wrap up your annotated bib. So that's sort of the framework for how you want to move through the child study practicum. Let me know if you have questions. I'm here to help. Always here to help, but hopefully this will help answer some questions before you have them. So thanks much. Have a great day.